Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Atom RPG with me, Bring It On. We need to continue talking our way through Krazno, starting with this guy. You know what? Let's sell that. Close. Let's see. So I need 30 more. What else do I got? Alright. I'll pay 2 rubles for that. Alright, standing before mortars, retorts, alembic cubes, and all sorts of other gadgets is an old man with white hair, wearing an old-fashioned pair of glasses. He sings some melody you know, but out of tune, and checks the recipe he has written down on a folded sheet of yellowed paper. When he senses you nearby, he lifts his head up and smiles. Ah, hello. How may I help? Are you in need of medicine? Only if there's a discount involved. I'm afraid I cannot lower my prices for you. Forgive the old man. I can ask a few questions. Okay, sure. Just you ask. Have you seen a lot of lands? Tell me about them. Yes, you are right. I've traveled many lands, saw many settlements big and small, each of which survived by its own set of rules. I've seen massive arcologies that grew straight out of the sands, brave little villages, and harsh militarized cities. Without any big government, the people went such different ways. May at least some of them turn out to be the correct ones. Yeah, it would be great if people would not go extinct. Another question. Sure, speak up. What can you tell me about the local lands? I know of places where people survive in small packs, with no authority. I also know places where the authorities are despots that need to be obeyed until the day you die behind a plow. Imagine how happy I became when I found Krazno, a place where there is just enough authority and individual freedom for a man to live a good life. The city is really dear to me. I hope it never shifts. The golden middle, right? Never thought about Krazno that way. Another question. How can this old medicine man help you? What will we do when the pre-war meds are all used up? The work that university cities are doing right now will return the ability to create complex chemicals to people all around the world in due time. But before that time comes, the populace will have to rely on people like me, who create remedies and salves for mushrooms, moss, and even something as simple as your average beetroot. Really? And here I was thinking the beetroot was completely useless. Another question. Where do you pick the plants you need for your recipes? I buy some of them off local traders, and gather some myself. The main thing is to pick the right herbs, and have good chemistry knowledge. I am making medicine after all. Any error might turn fatal, and cost to my patient his or her life, and to me, my license. The old man thinks for a while, and then he looks at you. You know, you really seem like a type of person I can trust completely. Can you maybe help me out with gathering some important plants for my recipes? It depends on what you need. Oh right. I've forgotten to tell you. I just need some toadstool, or amanita as it's called in Latin. I need these mushrooms for a certain experiment, but I do not have any time to gather them up. Please, I beg of you, bring me around 50 of those, and I'll pay you much more than you'd get by selling them on the market. A deal. If I find any, I'll bring them to you. Thank you. The fine art of transmutation will be forever grateful to you, and I'll get you some good baksheesh for the trouble. Great. Now can I ask you another question? The old man blows the dust from his stand and squints his eyes. Alright, and I think that's it. Alright, cool. We got a quest from him. More of a task, I guess, since it's going to take a while to complete. Is it possible that divinations of the so-called medium Baba something are true? Oh yeah. Remember when I did my audio check, I saw that I didn't grab the toilet paper out of his bathroom. much money am I sitting on right now? Okay. I'm hoping by the time I'm done with Krazno, I have enough money to get the next upgrade that I need at Red Fighter. I've already talked to this guy. What about this guy? Nope, he's new. A bearded militiaman is cleaning his teeth with the end of a match. He gives the slightest of nods when he notices you. What is it, citizen? I wanted to ask you about the city. A great city we have here, right? I think so too. Much better than Paragon, a darn hole in the ground suitable only for bandits and low-life traders. This place is much more fun than Ultranorye or Fokolevka. We even have a bookstore. Where else have you seen something like that? Only in Krazno, my friend. Have you heard any neat rumors? There's a rumor that in the outskirts of a city called Solnstegrad, in the pre-war Boy Scout grounds, there stands a structure known as the Tower of the Hippo. I heard that a former member of the Communist Party called Yaroslav lives there. He is the master of a powerful magical stone called the Hippo's Heart. That stone holds the secret of Yaroslav's sorcerous powers. Heard any other local gossip? Everyone says that the skin worm of the swamps can enslave a man. I personally am much more worried about Krasnov syndrome. Just imagine it. Your blood boiling, your eyes popping out of your skull, your palms covered in hair. Just terrible. Tell me about the city? I've already said that. How's the work situation around here? I'll just ask around. You seem like a person who's seen a lot. Many people would be happy to hire a seasoned adventurer. You do know there's a guy at the gates extorting money from people, right? Oh no. Report that to our internal investigations office at once. If your information is correct, he'll get the boot ASAP. You have my word as an officer. I see. Well, I have to go now. I don't think he's going to get the boot. Let me double check it here, make sure I didn't miss anything. Nope, looks good. So I believe you need 500 waste paper to complete the quest that I've been collecting waste paper for. And of course, I don't think I even have 100 yet, so... you see a surprisingly decent man in simple but neat and clean clothes. He strolls around whistling under his breath. As he sees you, he stretches out his hand with a friendly smile. Sergey Maslov, veteran. What can I do for you? Indeed. What can you do for me? This depends on the event you need me for. In the kindergarten, I can talk about the war. At a reception, entertain the guests. At a merchant's guild's party, talk about the importance of teamwork. If you train mercenaries, I can share my combat experience. A man like me will be a gem of any gathering. I don't organize any events. I just wanted to have a chat. I'm quite a busy man. Any day now I'll be giving a talk at the Chamber of Commerce and teaching the guards some tactical maneuvers. But sure, if you have any truly important questions, I'll answer them gladly. Where do you get money, apart from your performances? My main source of income is pension. It's hard to believe, knowing who I am, but I had to knock on all the doors in the governmental bunker to get it. The Chamber of Commerce had no respect for my great deeds, nor for the great country I represent, but I taught them some respect. So now I have enough for a modest living. Well, for everything I need, really. I got you. Are you in the mood for another question? I'm listening. How's life in Krazno? Well, since I taught the local government respect and sense of duty to the veterans, the country's heroes, my life's got tolerable. My former comrades in arms now try to taint my name, but they conveniently forgot it was I who pressed the government to issue pensions for the members of the last war. You're so shrewd. I have another question. What would you say about the political situation? I'm a humble old warrior. I'm used to serving people by heroically rebuffing enemy attacks on the battlefield. but as soon as I have a chance, I'll make myself a candidate for entering the Chamber of Commerce. People who govern it now will be the death of us all, later, if not sooner. Oh, so you're an aspiring politician too. I have another question. I got any good rumors to share? There's another veteran in the city, but he's not like me. He's more of an anti-veteran, a veteran of the criminal group Death. He's tried to persuade me a couple of times that his former cronies are planning an attack on the city. Personally, I don't believe him. A thief and a gangster always remains a thief and a gangster. Well, thanks for sharing. We'll be speaking to him just momentarily. Alright, he doesn't like it when I take his cabbage. That's fair. What the rest of the stuff? Can I loot anything else? He doesn't care about over here. Isn't it weird that he cares about the cabbage in the one container? Well, let's talk to him. I think he's the guy that we give this stuff to anyway. So if I just buy it off of him and then give it right back to him, I think we'll make a profit off of it. A tall man in his 30s with a long melancholic face and a rickety back sits in front of you. He looks in the window languidly, gesticulates and cries something out soundlessly from time to time. As he sees you, he smiles shyly and nods. Good day to you. A simple passerby who can turn out to be a rich investor. My name is Gubstov, a poet and a writer. Are you here to talk about my dick? A poet and writer, Gubstov stretches out his hand, then changes his mind, raises it to clap you on the shoulder, changes his mind again, and quickly hides it in his pocket. Not really, but now I do want to. Let's talk about dick. Oh, now my new friend won't regret his decision to chat. The thing is, several painful and miserable months ago, a unique commercial idea occurred to me. Oh wow, and what is it? I'll create a series of short stories united by the same arc story that will be coming out once a month. And this means people who want to know what happens next will have to buy a new issue. This will make the work resident, which will guarantee regular income. So I decided to... I continue listening in silence. The writer's cheeks grow pink. So I decided to write a series of fantastic, erotic, humorous, educational stories about a member of the Communist Party in space, Dick Popov, and his spicy adventures at Space Station Strawberry. This sounds just terrible, and that means something coming from me. Wait, it's not that simple. Well, it's not the worst idea I've ever had. This bullcrap might actually get quite popular in the Wasteland. Writer and poet Gubstov gets bright red in the face and lowers his eyes. Raise your eyebrows skeptically. 30th century. Soviet humans, reborn from the ashes of the nuclear apocalypse, explore space and meet other sentient beings. Young, strong, and well-built Central Committee member Dick Popov flies to Strawberry to represent the interests of the Soviet Earth. How can a simple red-blooded guy keep the presence of mind, like any worthy Soviet citizen should, when surrounded by exotic beauties, such as blue-skinned Generalissima Liarna Pildak from Ganymede, or less vicious Lazor from Venus? Let alone menacing stripper robots from Uranus that appear once in a cycle to seduce men of all civilized races. I continue listening in silence. Gubstov smooths out his neat beard and dreamily sighs. And the strangest thing is, as soon as this idea occurred to me, the editor-in-chief of Shoot to Kill Print House came to town for some business. Now, this publishing house prints hundreds of materials, from survival manuals to fiction. Alas, I failed to persuade him that publishing my stories was a good idea. But if you think my plan is worthy, maybe you could talk to him. He's staying not too far from here, in the hotel. His name is Vladislav Zarenko. Of course, we're bound to help the young talent, the seed that'll yield previously unseen literary harvest. Hexagen turns to you and continues his speech in a whisper. Tell him to go screw himself, son. He's a moron. I beg your pardon? I haven't quite caught that last phrase. And how exactly did you try to persuade him? Well, he was having lunch there in the courtyard. I ran up to him and said, Ryder Gubstov clears his throat, and for the upteenth time, goes red. Comrade Zarenko, 1 minute of your time. I'm going to make you a pig offer that bears great significance. Just let me persuade you. Yes. Something along these lines. Anyway, it didn't work. What's with all those pig metaphors? How was it supposed to persuade him? Well, someone told me I should include in my speech something original, to stand out. And there's a rumor someone keeps a pig in the Chamber of Commerce's bunker, so I thought it'd be a good reference. Yeah, now I do think I miscalculated a little. Maybe he'll be more persuasive. A little, yeah, to put it mildly. Okay, I'll sort it out for you. Hello, hello. Let's talk about my dick. Or just talk. For starters, let's just talk. I'll be glad to talk to an intelligent person. What have you written? What are your famous works? The writer lowers his eyes embarrassedly and picks at the floor with the sole of his shoe. Nothing that has been printed yet, but I have plenty of unfinished stories in my desk. I could have recited some of my poems, but after my public performance, the Krazno authorities forbade me to do so, and I abide by the law. However, my latest literary work will surely bring me long-deserved fame and glory. That'll show them all. Then another question, bookless writer. Please. How do you earn your living? The writer's pale cheeks go pink. Well, I'm not ashamed of my job. I call myself Dirt Fighter. And let me tell you, this is a very important and very poetic job at that. Especially when you need to clean up after someone has been shot, or a mutant toad is exploded in the middle of the city, or some especially stinking waste is gathered in a public area. A poet and a cleaner. How romantic. Well, can you answer one more question? What can you say about Krazno? Are poets respected here? Respected? Yeah, sure. One of my poetic performances was banned for indecency, as if praising the voluptuous body of a big-breasted beauty is more indecent than prison songs that are so popular among the local lowlifes. As I was given my second performance, the audience thought I was not right in the head and tried to lock me up in a mental institution to carry out experiments on me. But still, they give me work and don't touch me until I start reciting poems of mine. Thanks for that, if nothing else. Yeah, I can see they pay no respect to art here. Can you answer another question? Have you heard anything interesting? There's a rumor, or better say, it's a fact that some rogue expelled the owner of Lenin's mummy from Krasno suburbs. What did he do that for? Our city was proud of it. It was such an honor for us. With such honor, you don't need to be dishonored. Answer another question. Let's change the subject. You said you're a poet and a writer. Hexagen, I found a new friend for you. A friend? Why these generalizations, son? The fact that this guy and I both serve the Muse doesn't in any way mean we'll become friends. Who knows? Perhaps a minute later my old, desiccated arms crossed with swollen blue veins will pierce this man's belly like watery flesh and attempt to tear it off like a poorly made vulgar mask. Oh, the style. I can see myself strangling this potential anti-Soviet agent, plotting against him in a mortal battle. Oh. You're Trudov the writer, aren't you? Oh my god. Why didn't you tell me I was looking at a living legend? Slap yourself on the forehead angrily. Gubstov casts a quick look at you and turns back to old Hexagen. Tell me honestly, you're Trudov. Yes, in the flesh. A man and a bathescape. Bathescape? However, this bathescape will only agree to dive into the abyss if the world ocean turns into alcohol. I can see someone here has read my early collection of prose, Student Columns. Of course, it's a great book. What did you introduce them for? Their babbling will never stop now. Quite the contrary, thank you. If only you knew what a great honor it is for me. I have a hunch Hexagen will not talk about anything but this encounter as we travel. Trudov, the great writer. Oh no, I'm not worthy of these words. Great. You can apply this word to Kharlamov, the legendary ice hockey forward. The Legend of the Summit Series USSR, Canada 1972. Call me simply Ballistic Rocket Hexagon 6. Or better even, Maestro. Yes, Maestro. Oh, I'll never forget this meeting. How wonderful. Now can we talk about something else? Sure. Alright. That's it for that guy. We have to make sure we spoke to everybody in this area of Krazno. I think we have. Yeah, we already have his name. Gerda. I don't think that we can get to that guy. Nope, don't run outside. Just grab the cassette tape. Thank you. I wonder if she cares if we take her stuff. Well, so far she doesn't. Also, I'd probably start selling the cigarettes. The only thing that I needed to craft already crafted, so... Alright, the old woman walks behind you across the dirty kitchen of the communal apartment. She wraps her long shawl around her to keep away the chill, and follows you with her keen, unkind eyes. Without taking the end of the shawl from her wrinkled face, she addresses you in her screechy voice. Oh, what are you doing loafing around like that? Looking for something to nick? Oh, you've caught me at it, Gran. This was my plan. Get out of here, gangster, before I call the militia. Easy, easy. I was just joking. Not my business. Get out of here. You must be a junkhead too. Just the right type to get arrested. Lady, let me interfere. This, so to speak, man is my son. He grew up without seeing much of his father. This is my fault, I admit. So he's so rude and uneducated. But behind his unfriendly facade is a fragile little boy. Who are you? I am Mr. Trudov, the writer. An intellectual, the winner of, many prizes. Seriously? Why have you neglected your son so? The error of my younger days. Now he's my cross to bear. Really? Well, you seem to be a decent man. Alright, I won't call the guards. What the heck was that, Hexagon? The man claps you on the shoulder and lowers his reckless head. Forgive me, son. Forgive this stupid old man. Stop all this theater. You're not at home. The old fragile woman looks at you angrily. You clearly shouldn't make her even angrier by asking unnecessary questions. Tell me about your neighbors, Gran. Old and decrepit gangsters. Sick drunkards. That's my ill luck. I just run around looking after them. Roman is fine, and he's a quiet and placid man. A bit canny, perhaps. But Vyatsky the Navigator. Old drunk. The fact that he went through the war doesn't help. Sleeps all day long. There's no waking him. And at night he rubs his elbows with the rabble at the local dive. Humiliates himself to get money. Is there anything interesting going on in town? I don't know and I don't want to know. It's none of my business. Only thieves and gangsters are interested in such things. Is there anything interesting going on in the world? This village, Ultranoye, is haunted by all kinds of problems. And now it's a drought. Next time gangsters take all their money. Then Atom men pass through their village. They only live a couple of hours away from the city but behave like savages. Okay, I'm leaving. Goodbye. So this is the Navigator. Smacks his lips loudly. Yeah, won't get anything out of him. This guy, on the other hand, you see a scrawny, sick-looking man in a sleeveless top and homespun canvas pants. He'd be a head taller if he straightened his back, but you can't help thinking just how fragile and weak he looks. This is probably due to the black circles under his eyes, unnaturally yellow skin, or constantly shaking hands. The man ignores you as he tries to open a bottle of cloudy moonshine. Still, no matter how hard he pulls the cork that sticks from the neck, it just won't give in. His forehead is already covered with sweat. His cheeks grow pink with exertion. He raises a conscientious look at you, as if desiring to ask for help, yet feeling desperately ashamed to do so. Won't open, huh? Tough. Old age is no picnic. If you see, it won't. Finally, the man pulls the cork out. This costs him a lot of effort. He bends twice and makes several deep breaths before continuing. Then why not help? Soon the time will come when no one in these lands will have an opportunity to watch from the distance. Everyone will fall victim. A victim of what, old man? The man grins. For a second, the look of his bloodshot yellowish eyes seems absolutely insane and wild. What, you're interested? You risk becoming the first person who's ever listened to the whole story. Why's that? Is it a long story? The guards kicked me out and didn't let me finish. Mercenary promised to knock the heck out of me. City residents laughed at me, but I heard it with my own ears. And what was it that you heard? Death is drawing near to Krazno. The organized criminal group Death. Nothing will stop it. Don't doubt my words, for I'm the one who created it. I raise an eyebrow, interested. Long ago, when this body was still loyal to me, in a faraway land several months of walking away from here, I was known as Roma Death. A merciless, heartless gangster and murderer, a product of my time and my surroundings. A product of your surroundings. The area where I grew up went completely wild after the war. Here you have politicians, guards, laws, and rights. There was only one law: kill before you're killed, and one right, the right of the strongest. Not thoughtfully. I knew no mercies as I spared no one. Old people, women, children. I took all I wanted and set fire to the rest. Strange as it might sound, though, I wasn't totally mental. What's more, I tried to justify my doings with a philosophy. What philosophy? I deduced that only the strongest had a chance to survive in this dying world. The only purpose of the weak is to provide the strong with everything they need, and then become dirt under their boots. I put strength higher than social and personal morals, higher than law. I forfeited them all for one single idea. Everything I desire will become mine. That's quite interesting. What happened next? The old man nods gloomily. As time passed, people started following me, attracted by my views, inebriated by the cruelty I could teach them. Homeless guys, often very young, famished among the ruins. Those I spared out of vanity, unlike the rest who was unlucky to meet me. Together we were known as the organized crime group, Death. And then? I lost interest in my own ideas when I saw them through a stranger's eyes. I realized that boys and girls 2 times younger than me, children I had raised and taught myself, were ravaging, murdering, torturing innocent people, burning down houses and entire villages, screaming out slogans I had made up myself. The weak should fear the strong. The strong is always right. I realized I was instilling this in my own head to stop feeling dismal at what I was doing, and so I fled, accompanied by one of my apprentices, who came to the same conclusion. Interesting revelation. I'm amazed you were able to realize this. And then? For years I didn't live. I merely existed. A nameless shadow who had no friends, no human contact. A monster who tried to quench his wild nature with booze. I guess deep inside I wanted to die. Probably that's why I developed this illness. But several days ago, the guy who had fled with me contacted me from Paragon. 3 of my apprentices, my children, decided to move here from the unwelcoming north, in this part of the wasteland. How many people? When? As far as I understand, there'll be 3 squads headed by the most bloodthirsty of my old followers. Dima Death, who likes turning people into living torches. Alina Death, a beautiful and insane girl who heads a gang of sadists. and Igor Death, with his wild pack of wolves and a tendency to poke eyes. I remember them as kids. I created them. And now, if we allow them to combine their forces, they'll wreak havoc in these lands. You did try talking to the authorities, right? People don't take me serious. They say if such squads exist in our lands, people would know. They don't understand. There have been no reports about them because my children leave no witnesses. Seeing or hearing them is a death sentence, but they have to be stopped. Convince them or destroy. It doesn't matter. I'm too old and decrepit. You're the only person who's heard my story to the end. Tell me, could you help me? I could offer my services for their extermination. You angels, you're misguided creatures. If you answer to the prayer of a devil incarnate, so you think you can exterminate my children? Your children are too dangerous and immoral to be left alive. You're right. I'm not overestimating them when I say these people are able to slaughter an entire city. And not stop, but move on with still fresh blood on the soles of their boots. Get rid of them. You will not only save hundreds of lives, but receive all my remaining savings as a reward. I'll empty my hiding place to the last coin while you're fulfilling this task. Good. What now? Now you should go to Paragon. The guy, now a grown-up man, with whom I fled from my own gang, is waiting at the entrance to the tent city. You'll recognize him by a round black mole above his upper lip. Tell him about my disease. Say you've come to replace me. If he doesn't believe you, tell him the moon hides behind a cloud. This is our old password. Each of us had our own answer. He'll give you the latest locations of the squads he has registered, more or less accurate. Stop them, whatever the cost. What a task. Anything else? I'm listening. Mind a couple of questions about the leaders of the criminal group Death? The man tenses up and grasps tightly at the razor that's tucked behind his belt. I'm interested in its leaders. Who exactly? Dima Death. Dima Death, or the Red Death as they used to call him. His greatest passion was open fire. He was the epitome of his passion. Always looking for a fight. Always proving his dominance. Winning, humiliating, destroying. Feeding the remains to the fire. If only the burning coals that mark his way could talk. What blood-curdling stories they would tell. Tell me about Lena Death. Little Lena, as beautiful as she is cruel. I saw wanted posters where she's called White Death, a fair-headed monster, our Beauty and the Beast in a seducing body. Since her father died, and I, who was like a father to her, quit the gang, she's been overflown with melancholy. The right of the strongest is still her main ideal, but she's turned it inside out. She believes a murder to be her virtue. The world is for the strong, so the strong should show their mercy to the weak and stop their suffering. Tell me about Igor Death. Igor Death, the Raven, the Black Death. In other times he would have become a theater star, but thanks to me, he's turned his life into a bloody one-man act. If he's in a good mood, his demeanor, weird gestures, and pathos might give you the wrong impression he's harmless. But when a flamboyant actor leaves, a terrifying tyrant rises its ugly head. A slaughterer who massacred entire villages. Laughed as he was poking old men's and kids' eyes before releasing his wolves at them. Let's go back a little. Let's change the subject. Anything else? I'm listening. Let's talk about you some more. Do you mind answering my questions? I'm listening. Are you sick? Funny, isn't it? At some point in my life, I wasn't just strong. I was one of the people totally defined by their strength. Unstoppable, cruel, unscrupulous. Now I'm merely a shadow of my old self. This plague that I have so fairly developed in the old age was incurable even before the war. First, it'll devour my muscles. I can barely hold the bottle already. Then my internal organs. Then, eternal flame until the end of time. It's sad. Anyway, I have another question. The man nods, agreeing to answer. What do you do? Where do you work? I'm glad the local authorities didn't ask me that question. It was enough to show them a bunch of bills covered in blood, and stretch my hand to accept the occupancy permit. You can say I live off my savings. Your past must have been quite terrifying. Another question. What do you think about Krazno? My old self, when not stifled by vodka, calls it the sheep city. Sometimes my new self even nods in agreement. Complacent complacent sheep that graze under the knife. That sounded quite gloomy. Can I ask another question? Have you heard any interesting rumors that circulate here? Well, have you seen the postman? I rarely leave my house. Last time I met him at the video theater. He tried to tell me some crazy stuff. I should have listened, but I went my way. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the postman here gives us a quest. That takes us to Paragon. So a lot of the quests, it's better to go... Yeah, can't talk. It's better to come to Krazno before you go to Paragon, because a lot of the quests start in Krazno, take you to Paragon, like this one and the postman quest. I think that's it, right? Did we get another quest that takes us to Paragon? No, that's a Abaddon factory. Anyway, right, I see. Okay. Anyway, I should be going now. Well, let's see if he has anything else to say. Nope, that's it. I better go. Good luck. See you later. Alright, we're going to swing by the medicine man real fast and sell some of the junk that we've picked up. And then we'll go to the next area of the city, and then in the next episode we'll start talking to the NPCs on that side. Okay, that works for me. How much money am I sitting on? 2,100, almost 2,200. Alright, I'm going to call the episode here. In the next one, we will explore this side of Krazno. It's pretty big. Because the first half of Krazno includes the suburbs and that first section of the city. And this one has all these merchants and everyone on the boat. It's a big section of the city. Where's this guy going? Wait, soldier, I need to raise the guys. Okay, well anyway, I'm going to call it here. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next episode.